What is a time where you felt that you failed that you learned a valuable lesson from?
That's such a hard question. Getting divorced was a big lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come? What happened?
For a long time, you know, like in your 20s and 30s, like getting married was a big goal, and I got married. And then I realized that that's not everything. And what I learned through being married was that knowing who you are, knowing your values, and knowing your non-negotiables is so much more important than anything else. It could be more important than the person that you love. And that was a huge lesson for me.
So do you think you didn't know yourself before getting married?
I think I didn't really know how important my values were to me before I got married.
What is true love like, in your opinion?
When I find out, I'll let you know.
Why did it not work, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I wanted to work so much that I was willing to overlook aspects of him and myself that didn't align with my true values. And that's why it didn't work.
Many men are fortunate to recognize the early signs before marriage that it may not be successful. They often become aware of their fiancé's challenging behavior or emotional outbursts. Recognizing these red flags allows them to make the wise decision to call off the wedding, sometimes even just a day before the ceremony. In my opinion, these men are true lifesavers as they avoid entering an unhappy and turbulent marriage. He is referencing research conducted by the Gottman Institute, a well-respected authority in predicting relationship success. For those interested, the Gottman Institute identifies what they call the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in relationships: contempt, stonewalling, defensiveness, and criticism. These are key indicators of destructive patterns.
The man in the video changed his mind and was ready to marry, but she didn't have to put him against the wall for it. Deliberately, he was willing to marry her on the next day. Let's have a look at what happened.
Red bean. Like I was saying, I think we should just stay friends, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not ready for a relationship. Like, you know, I'm just not ready for all that right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Damn. Crispy chicken. You say you cooked there? You did there? Cornbread. Cornbread. Cornbread too? This ain't Jip, this from scratch? Lord, shit. And you cook this like this all year round. It stays the same taste like this all year round. Well, I don't know, baby, look. You mind if I take my Air Max off? Look, check this out. I'm gonna take my Air Max off for a couple of years because I've been thinking, since I've been sitting here eating on this, that you might be right. We might do need to get in a relationship because, real talk, I've been hungry lately, and these women I've been dealing with, they, you know, this is the taste I've been looking for. So, you want to get married tomorrow? You want to get married tomorrow? Because yeah, that look like that was finna happen. I don't want to be single no more. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go and get married tomorrow. And I'm going to bring my little TV and my little VCR that I got, my 4 pair of boxes that I got at the crib with mom, and bring them on over here with you because look like this is my home. Look like I got a phone to have home.
Listen to this.
Ultimatums in relationships can be particularly harmful, often resulting in a loss of respect and causing partners, especially mature men, to walk away. An ultimatum essentially demands compliance under threat, which undermines the mutual respect and understanding necessary for a healthy relationship.
There's been so many times where women say to me, it's like, oh, I told him I want a divorce, but hoping he'd come back for me, but he let me pack my bags. So sometimes they file for divorce or take it that far as a way of testing their partner. And if they're with quite a healthy partner, they'll think you mean it.
So many women try to... I like when she said this.
Sometimes they file for divorce or take it that far as a way of testing their partner. And if they're with quite a healthy partner, they'll think you mean it.
The easiest way to lose a confident man who knows himself is to use this type of strategy. It only works with guys who aren't sure about themselves or are dependent on their spouse. Don't try it with a mature and secure guy because you are going to lose him.
Test their men constantly.
It's an evolutionary thing because here's the reality. Childbirth is potentially fatal. So to put that risk onto a relationship, he better be able to endure all types of storms. So we have to test them. So we have to, unfortunately, test them. We have to test, are they going to be faithful, financially stable, have their own boundaries? Now, the problem is, unfortunately, for men, when we push you and you succumb to us, you automatically lose us. What we're saying when we're pushing you is really make sure you don't give in to this, because if you do, then I know you're not strong enough.
Oh my God, give me an example.
It might be something like I push a man to say, I'm going to come home when I want. I'm going to come on girls' trips. I'm going to do whatever I want. And then when you actually give in and say, okay, essentially she feels like she's not being protected. So she feels like nobody's governing her.
You don't have a spine.
You're not responsible. Or she might say, I'm talking to my ex-boyfriend, and you say, I don't feel comfortable with that. She'll be like, no, you have to, I have to. Fine, he accepts it. Essentially, she's saying that you don't mind if I have an affair. Bye. Essentially, what we're begging for sometimes is the boundary. We're not looking for you to bow down. So hard for men to figure that out. Though.
Right.
I feel so bad
So
for men.
funny.
It's like reverse psychology all the time, unfortunately.
I will let 10,000 women go if they try that. A healthy woman shouldn't be asking for divorce unless she means it. It's a serious matter. A good man, at least in my culture, will tell her to take space, maybe spend time at her parents' home, to think whether that is what she truly wants. They also risk getting the boundary enforced. Guys with a backbone and options won't try to control you. We will just let you go on your way.
Mature men, who typically value autonomy, respect, and open communication, tend to view ultimatums as manipulative and controlling. These men have likely experienced various relationship dynamics and now seek partnerships based on mutual trust and collaboration. When faced with an ultimatum, they may feel their autonomy is being threatened, which leads to a defensive reaction. Instead of fostering healthy dialogue, ultimatums stifle communication, making the recipient feel cornered and undervalued. Additionally, mature individuals generally prefer resolving conflicts through thoughtful discussions rather than coercion. Ultimatums, lacking the empathy and nuance necessary for effective conflict resolution, often lead to resentment. The person receiving the ultimatum may feel unheard and disregarded, ultimately leading to a breakdown in emotional intimacy and connection.
So after I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. And so we went through 3 months of like chicken, where I had no friends in Vegas, no family in Vegas. I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. I had no job. I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me.
But who told you it's a good idea to put a mature man against the wall? Why would you want to go this far to get him to marry you? Even if he went on with it, would it be worth it? This is the worst strategy to get a man to marry you. It will never work with a man who knows himself.
For 3 months, he was like, do what you got to do. You want to move, move. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car. And we putting stuff in the trunk, and I just started crying. I'm like, you really gonna let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
The biggest problem with ultimatums is that if you give in to one, you'll just get more of them. This man was smart not to negotiate. An ultimatum reveals just how weak the position of the person issuing the ultimatum is. I love getting ultimatums because the opposition has just painted itself into a corner that which there is no escape from. When my husband and I were dating, I told him one time he had to get up. He sat up and said, the only things I have to do is breathe and die, then went back to sleep. Yeah, you can't make a strong man do anything. Exactly what I told my wife early on when we got into an argument, and she threatened to leave. I said we both know where the door is. If you want to leave, just leave.
The implicit threat in an ultimatum can also backfire by eroding the foundational respect in the relationship. Respect is mutual, and issuing an ultimatum can signal a disregard for the partner's perspective and autonomy. This loss of respect is often reciprocated, as the men begin to lose respect for the women who issue the ultimatum, viewing them as unreasonable or domineering.
I don't want to go to your house. He's like, oh, okay, then I'm gonna drop you back home. And I'm like, what? I cannot believe at this point in my life, I'm like, okay. So then like I had something, okay, at 10 p.m. So then I told him like, oh, can you at least drop me where I'm going? Like, so then I will stay there. He's like, I'm not gonna drive all the way there. You know what I told him via text? I told him like, look, the last thing you will hear from me is that you deserve the people that you're with. Like, you deserve the woman that you're with, because we're talking about a man that he doesn't know what it's like to do effort for a woman. He's like, let's go buy a pack of donuts and we will go to my house. Why? For what? Why would I go to your house? Even if it's not the first time I see you, why would I do that? Guys, can you imagine the shock? So he dropped me back home, okay? And I'm like, okay, thank you for the tour. You gave me a tour in the city. Loved it.
He is not your taxi. Be glad he said he would drop you off by your house. He could have said bye and told you to walk 5 minutes to your house. He is absolutely right. Why would he put effort if he is not getting anything back? Even the birds of paradise dance and perform for the female before they get the action they want. Also, he is not your Uber. Why you ask him to take you to another place? Strange that you still don't differentiate between boys and decent guys and create drama after wasting his time. Poor guy got the wrong girl who is searching for content.
By paying attention to these early warning signs, men prevent themselves from entering unhappy and potentially volatile marriages. Though this decision may be tough, it demonstrates a strong sense of self-awareness and foresight, sparing both parties from future distress and the complexities of an eventual divorce. Calling off a wedding at the last minute might seem extreme, but it can be a courageous step toward ensuring long-term happiness and well-being. It takes strength and clarity to acknowledge when a relationship isn't right, especially when there's societal or familial pressure to proceed. These men prioritize their future peace and emotional health, showing themselves to be wise and responsible decision-makers in their own lives.